What's up, insiders? Today we're going to be going over the Uwell Amulet. But first, let me check the time. Oh yeah, check this out, man. Look at this. Did you see that? It's a pod and it's a watch. Is it gimmicky? Is it child appealing? Make sure you watch the whole video. Find out exactly what I think, because I got a lot to say on this subject. There's the watch. Check that thing out, huh? Kind of neat, right? Now, I'm not sure, man. I don't know what to review this as, a watch or a vape device. It's kind of weird, man. Now, it does look like a typical smartwatch, right? That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I'm a smartwatch wearer. I wear a Samsung Gear, all right? So this isn't going to replace my smartwatch. I just like that watch too much. But I'll tell you what, man, I've been wearing it for a couple of days, and, you know, as someone who's used to big watches and actually wears a watch, it does feel comfortable. The strap's a little wacky. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. See that right there, that strap, right? It's weird, right? Because you kind of got to strap it onto your wrist, right? Find the proper setting. You almost got to strap it on like this way, right? Just to get it on. It's kind of got to be outward like that. And then you kind of got to like swing it over and tuck this in under the rubber part. So it does cause some friction with your skin. So I'm not crazy about the band, I got to admit, all right? But let's face it, this isn't a watch review. It's a vape review. So you got this little button right here, right? And you kind of give it a little pop like that, and you see the pod raise, right? And then it makes it easier for you to take your pod out. And your pod sits in this thing. You can see there's some Uwell branding, all right? So one thing that's kind of cool is this piece right here protects this piece, your mouthpiece, your draw hole, right? So when you pop it in there like that, right, it's all covered and protected. There's no chance of getting any schmutz in there. So that's kind of cool. Now, very simple operation on this one, okay? There is your resistance, your battery level, your time, your date, your day of the week, okay? So very, very simple. Now, if you want to get into the menu system, 3 clicks, and now you can adjust your time and your date, okay? Now, that's really basically it. There's nothing else in the menu system except to adjust the time and date. It's got a 1.6 ohm pod in it, okay? There is your draw hole right there. When you draw on it, you know, it vapes kind of like a Caliburn. Like, it's got that same type of vape. Now, on the back side of the pod, you can see the pod is actually pretty dark, so it's kind of hard to see your liquid level. You got some Amulet branding here, some Uwell branding there, okay? Over here is your micro USB port for charging, okay? In order to pull the pod out, you kind of grab it by the mouthpiece and pull it forward a little bit, and then it just comes right out, just like that. Now you can see you got this little tab right there, okay? That's going to coincide with a little notch in here, okay, that's going to, you know, slide into. Juice capacity is 2 mLs. In order to fill this up, very, very simple. You just kind of get your nail in there, right? You kind of got to have a little bit of girly nails. I do like that it stays attached, all right? And once you got it open, you can see the fill port right there. It's a decent sized fill hole. Needle nose bottles will only work. Glass strippers will definitely make a mess, so make sure you're only using needle nose bottles. Once you're all filled up with your 2 mLs of liquid, you pop that little plug back in, and now you're ready to vape. You can see you got the 2 gold-plated contacts over here that coincide with the 2 gold-plated contacts on the mod part. Very easy to slide this thing in. You just kind of put the back side in first like that, and then you just pop it down like so. And now you're all ready to vape. You hit the button to see what your screen is doing, and that's it, man. You also get a shorty style micro USB cable. All right, insiders, let's get into the cons and pros for the Uwell Amulet. First con's gonna be, and it's probably because it's gimmicky, but it's a little bit pricey considering it's a pod, you know, with a wristband. It's a little bit on the pricey side. So I got to point that out. It's a con. Another con we're going to talk about a little later, but some people just love to be butthurt, and they're going to get butthurt over this, and they're going to tell you that this is child appealing. So For you people out there, I'll list it as a con. Personally, I don't think it's child appealing. I don't think it's a con at all. But I gotta point it out because it's like the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about it a little bit when we get through the pros. And the last con's going to be, and it's not really for the vape, but it's the band on the watch. The band on the watch is a little wacky, the way you got to like put it on over the top and then tuck it in. Yeah, I wear watches. I still wear watches. I'm kind of old school. And that band, it's kind of wacky as far as watches go. It's not really a con on the vape mod itself, but on the actual watch band. So I got to point that out as well. But that's it on the cons. Let's move on to the pros. First pro is going to be, man, this thing's a super easy carry. You just take it, you pop it in, bang, you're good to go, man. You don't need to put it in a pocket. You don't need to put it anywhere. It's on your wrist. I like it. It's a pro. The vape quality on this is actually pretty good. It actually vapes pretty well. The flavor's good. Hopefully they'll come out with some more pods for it. Right now they only have one, but I'm digging it. The flavor's decent. The clouds are decent as well. I think it's got a real nice capacity when you consider its diminutive size. It works well as a watch. It tells you the time. That's a pro. So far, it's actually been comfortable on my wrist. It's very lightweight. It's not like I find it annoying or anything like that. So I'm going to chalk up a pro for that as well. And the last pro is going to be, I love the way this thing snaps into the watch and actually protects the mouthpiece from dirt and debris. Nice job on that, Uwell. Before we get into, the original question in the beginning of the video, let me show you how this thing actually works, how it vapes. Check it out. All right, I got an apricot custard in here that I know very well. Check this out. Real nice mouth to lung vape. The pull, the draw is almost like Caliburn-esque, like that type of draw. Just a really, really nice vape, and the flavor's not bad. I can't complain about that. But let's get into it now. Let's get into the original question. Is this gimmicky? Is this child appealing? Listen, anyone that tells you with a straight face that a watch is child appealing is out of their tree. They're off their rocker. This is getting ridiculous. It really is, okay? It's a goddamn watch, for Christ's sakes, okay? There's nothing child appealing about it. There's no SpongeBob on it. There's no Pokemon on it. There's no games on it. What the hell is child appealing about a watch? And don't tell me that kids are going to be able to sneak this into school, because you could sneak a Juul or any other pod system into school just as easily, probably easier than you could sneak this into school. Okay, so that's a BS argument. There's nothing child appealing about this thing at all, in my humble opinion. My problem with everybody hitting this thing up in social media as being child appealing and everything like that is you guys are believing in a false narrative, okay? Every time the government wants to control something, they do it under two guises. Either they're protecting you from yourself or they're protecting the children, okay? That's what the government's been doing for the last 40 or 50 years with everything, okay? It's a false narrative. First of all, parents should be parenting, not the government. It's up to the parent to know what their child is doing. It's not up to the government to do that, all right? And we keep electing leaders that are putting us into this nanny state, all right? And people are actually believing this nonsense. Oh, it's child appealing. It's not child appealing. Everything in life is child appealing. Everything an adult has, a child wants. It's just a bunch of BS. The problem is they want to get their hooks into vaping because they want to control it and they want to tax the hell out of it. That's what this is all about. It's all about them losing money on big tobacco. So when you as a vapor go out there and start screaming that everything is child appealing, you're feeding right into their narrative, okay? And that's exactly what they want. And I'll be honest with you, even if it was child appealing, I would still review it. You know why? Because I don't believe the narrative that these unelected officials have set for this agenda. And when we stop believing in that narrative and start fighting for our real freedom, our real right to vape, then we'll get some action. But until we stop complying with everything the government is asking us to do under the guise that if we're nice, they'll leave us alone. Yeah, that's worked a lot in history, right? we're from the government and we're here to help. That's never worked, okay? That's just something that the lobbyists feed you in order to get your money, all right? This is not the way to attack the situation. The way to attack the situation is to tell your representatives, listen, I'm an adult. I live in a free country. I should be able to do what I want as long as I'm not hurting anybody else. And that's the bottom line. Let's go over some of the specs on the Uwell Amulet. It's 47.7 by 37.5 by 17.2 millimeters. It weighs in at 27 grams. It has a 2 ml capacity, a 370 milliamp hour battery. It has a 10 watt maximum output. The pod ohms out at 1.6 ohms. It is drawer activated. Protections include 8-second cutoff, open circuit, short circuit, low power, and overtime protection. And that's it, insiders. Sorry I got on the soapbox a little bit, but stuff like this kind of triggers me because I feel like we're losing this fight because we're not looking at the big picture. Big shout out to Uwell for sending the amulet my way. Before you go anywhere, insiders, make sure you check out the link down below. We got a new store, the Vaping Insider store, with my tagline on the shirts. We got some other cool designs as well. Here's our hoodie, New York supports vaping. We got a whole bunch of cool vaping shirts and hoodies. Make sure you check out the link down below and go over there and support vapinginsider.com. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. You keep living that vape life. We're out. Deuces.